Hi, I'm Cecil.
And I'm his best friend, Eli Bosnick.
Not best friends.
Really,
not
Cecil,
best
during
friends.
Christmas? During Christmas.
It's not Christmas, it's Vulgarity for Charity.
That's right, it is, Cecil. Every year, we get together to raise money for our favorite charity, Modest Needs.
Modest Needs uses smart fundraising to help people who are ineligible for other kinds of support stay on their feet.
But it's not just doing good, it's also a chance to be bad. Head on over to modestneeds.org, donate $50 or more, and forward the receipt along with who you want us to roast to vulgarityforcharity@gmail.com, and we'll deliver a scorching insult on an upcoming episode of Scathing Atheist or Cognitive Dissonance.
But that's not all. This year, an anonymous donor at Modest Needs will match all our donations up to $100,000. So what you give counts double.
One more time, that's modestneeds.org, and send who you want roasted to vulgarityforcharity, that's the word, not the number, at gmail.com.
Vulgarity for Charity.
Two best friends raising money for good.
Eli, the catchphrase is being bad never felt so good.
Can be both. Can have multiple.
No.
America needs a tidal wave of the old-time religion.
I have sinned against you.
How dare you! We have no need to doubt God.
The harlot Babylon is preparing the nations to receive the Antichrist.
I didn't even build that house with money from the church. I built it with money from my book.
I don't make this stuff up.
Repenting of your sin.
It is a moral issue.
They got together and swore a pact to the devil.
I just enjoy seeing people worship, praising God.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Believe It or Not podcast.
Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, everyone, for coming out today to listen to us.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. It's a great turnout.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to see all your fresh, smiling faces.
You all look wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm Trevor Poelman.
And I'm Damien Doepping.
And Damien.
Yeah.
Do you listen to? Do you like Patton Oswalt?
Yeah.
Do you like his stand-up?
I do. Yeah.
Do you know the sky cake bit?
The sky kick bit?
Sky cake?
Sky cake. It sounds familiar, but it's been a while.
Okay.
Should we pause for clip?
Pause for clip.
Civilization was a huge psychopath with a club going, I'm going to have rape for dinner. That was it. That's as far as we were going to go. And then one of my ancestors, some weakling, said, look, there's no way I can beat that guy. But what if I trick him into thinking that if he doesn't kill and rape people while he's down here, when he dies, there's a magic city in the clouds, and he can go up and have all the cake he wants. Now, that's not a very well-formed plan, but he went and told the big psycho, and the psycho heard that and said, yeah, I like cake. Boom, there you go. That was the beginning of civilization. Now we can work on fire and writing and agriculture. That's religion. It's the old sky cake dodge. It worked. And by the way, things were great for a while. But then what was happening was that shit was going on all over the planet. They would just use different desserts. They would tell them about sky cookies or sky pie or sky baklava. So as each of these civilizations grew, they'd build ships, they'd go visit each other, and the one guy would walk off the boat and go, hey, did you hear the good news about the sky baklava? And the first guy went, it's cake, motherfucker, you're dead! So the next time you see some douchebags in front of an abortion clinic or trying to ban a Harry Potter novel, just say, oh, sky cake. Why are you so delicious?
That, when I was researching this story today,
Yeah.
all I could think of was, oh, sky cake. Because it's one of the most ridiculous historical events I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
But also has so many parallels to modern day. So yeah, I never heard of this thing before this week, and then I found out about it. I'm like, oh, there's an episode we should do someday. And then I was like, this is the episode we're doing this week.
When was this from?
1844.
Okay.
It was called the Bible Riots of 1844.
The Bible Riots?
Yes. Have you heard of the Bible Riots of 1844? Or the Philadelphia Nativist Riots?
Nativist Riots.
Or the Philadelphia Prayer Riots, it's sometimes called. And the Native American Riots. Now, the word native was used there twice in two of the name. One, Native American Riots, and another, Nativist Riots. There were no Native Americans involved in this.
So When they're saying Native Americans, they mean white people who live there?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's fear of immigration. So that people used to use the term Native Americans not to refer to Native Americans, but to refer to people who had lived there for...
Who were born there?
Yeah,
probably?
born there, but like multiple generations born there. And I think they would just refer to natives by some derogatory term. And
which we will not go into.
Which we will not go into. Basically, a lot of Irish immigrants were coming in, and other immigrants from England and Germany were coming into America as America was becoming more industrialized, and especially as cities were becoming more industrialized. Immigrants were coming in and working at these factories.
Yep.
And like nowadays, people like blaming all their problems on immigrants. Immigrants.
I knew it was them.
Even when it was the Bears, I knew it was the immigrants. So, just like the Simpsons episode, immigrants are a great source,
a great
scapegoat, and in America, it's just it's a never-ending story.
Which is weird because they're a nation of immigrants.
Yeah, exactly. They're supposed to be a melting pot, but
yeah,
and it's ridiculous.
Well, it seems like they threw in the ideas of the country into the pot, and it dissolved, and now they don't know what the idea was anymore.
Exactly. America's mostly Protestant at this time. Mm-hmm. A lot of immigrants come over who are Catholic, especially Irish immigrants end up being Catholic. So a lot more Catholic churches.
And they have a bad time with the Catholic and the Protestants in Ireland by itself.
Yeah, exactly. So Catholics come over here. Yeah, a lot more Catholic churches. They have a different Bible. So
have we talked about why the Protestants and the Catholics hate each other so much?
It's a long history of... We haven't really talked about it a lot.
That might be something worth looking into soon.
Yeah.
Because I don't know much about it either. But it seems like... I find it very strange when two just...
Yeah.
Different branches of the same idea are that mad at each other.
Yeah. Well, it's like, because they're almost the same thing except...
Yeah. A few ideological differences.
Exactly. Like it's basically the same thing as watching The Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And being just like angry that there's slight differences.
Yeah.
So at the time they did Bible readings in school. It was a regular thing to do Bible readings in school. And they would use the King James Version of the Bible, which was the Protestant version of the Bible.
Right.
And the Catholics had the Douay?
How do you spell it?
Let's see.
Doobie.
The Doobie. They had the Doobie Bible.
The Doobie Brothers Bible.
Douay.
Douay.
So I think that at the time it was their only English translation of the Bible. Catholics generally... It was more like they would read from the Latin version, and priests would learn the Latin, how to read the Latin version, and the priests would kind of help you understand the Bible.
Yeah.
Whereas Protestants, it was the big move to like understanding it in English,
making it more accessible for people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then eventually, the Catholics did have the Douay Bible, which was translated from the Latin, and it came with Catholic commentary.
Catholic commentary. So this is like the first DVD commentary?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it would have like a Catholic were to be involved in Bible reading, they would use this Bible. And so as more people get on like the board and stuff like that, the more Catholic people get on school boards, they started suggesting that since we do Bible readings, we should have the Catholic option as well, because like, Catholic tradition, especially at the time, but still kind of in a lot of ways where if you don't do communion, like if you don't have the same communion, you're not supposed to share in religious ceremonies with people of different faiths.
Why?
So it was kind of because maybe you'll be led astray by their teachings or whatever. So like if they have different teachings, then you're just supposed to have separate kind of...
I feel like that's a huge red flag right there.
Yeah.
Like you should just be like, wait, so I can't go to this other religious ceremony or hear these ideas because it might corrupt my ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how insecure do you have to be that you're afraid to hear other people's ideas?
Yeah. So, but like today with, I don't know if you had any Jehovah's Witnesses in your school.
If we did, I didn't know them.
Okay, because when I was a kid, Jehovah's Witnesses would leave the classroom during the national anthem. because it was considered a form of like worship of the state.
Oh,
and
man,
so
I wish
I
was a Jehovah's Witness.
I know.
But they played it in the halls, so it didn't matter.
That's true, but they would like leave the class so they don't have to like participate in this nation worship or whatever.
Couldn't they just like sit there?
I don't know, actually.
I do think the national anthem's a weird kind of thing.
Yeah, it very much is. But the compromise here in the 1844 was that the Catholic kids would just leave the classroom during the Bible readings, and they could just have their own little Bible readings.
Yeah.
So it was, everybody seemed to think it was an okay compromise.
I would just take religion out of schools.
Exactly. Yeah. And but then like rumors started that because they wanted to have this compromise, these quote unquote nativist groups, which were like
the Protestants
and like anti-immigration groups, basically would use this as a argument, saying that they're trying to take Bibles out of school.
Took our God.
Yeah, they're trying to take God out of school. They're trying to take Bibles out of schools.
This sounds very familiar.
Yeah, exactly. They were also.
Was there a war on Christmas?
Yeah, there was this group called the. They were like the first Republican Party or something. It wasn't the actual Republican Party that we have now. It was a different.
Well, yeah, all the parties have kind of changed over.
Yeah,
years,
and it was also called the Know Nothing Party.
The Know Nothing Party.
Yeah,
that's not a great way to instill faith in your voters.
No, it's really not. But they were like a very anti-immigration party.
Mm-hmm.
And but this guy, Francis Kendrick, was a Roman Catholic bishop, and he was like one of the big ones trying to make sure that Catholic kids didn't have to sit through, King James versions of the Bible. So he became like this poster child of like, this is our enemy. Like, he's trying to take Bibles out of school. And then there was this other Catholic board member who was just at another school, and he was kind of doing a walkthrough and like spending a day at the school, and realized just how chaotic it had become with, because like it was almost an even split now, Catholic and Protestant kids.
So like half the class would leave. It would just cause confusion. A lot of teachers were really getting frustrated at the time with all the confusion around it. It's not a sustainable thing to do, is to send half your class out every day for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. So he suggested that they just take a break from Bible reading until they can figure out a way to do it properly.
One way they could have done it, couldn't they have just done one Bible reading in the morning and have those kids come in early, and one Bible reading at the end of the day and have those kids stay longer?
Why didn't you work for the school board?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know, right? Like that would have been, it's a really easy compromise.
Yeah, from like 8:30 to 9.
Yeah,
you have the Catholics come in.
Yeah,
and then the Protestant kids come in at 9.
Yeah,
and then they stay an extra half hour at the end of the day.
Yeah, or just have a priest come in and a minister come in, and you can like go into different rooms, or just like
have it.
Just make it a public school. Yeah. And this is also very early in their era of free education. Mm-hmm. So it had been passed like almost recently.
Yeah,
where
so this is still a new concept.
Free, and it was still a new concept.
So I'm not going to be mad about them having church in there, but I feel like there were solutions that could have been implemented.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is too, even if you did something like that, people are going to be like, well, why do our kids have to stay later? Or why do our kids have to come in earlier?
Yeah.
Well, what do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you want?
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, even in small towns, like I always tease when I'm home, I tease my dad about how everybody hates change.
Yeah. No, people are the worst for that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter small town. It doesn't matter big town. It does not matter.
Because our McDonald's in my hometown Brockville added a couple parking spots for people who did the mobile order purchases, so they could just park and go in and grab their stuff. And people were so angry that they were taking their parking spots.
Not even just that. Anytime people do like slight menu changes, or the price goes up like 10 cents, and people are like, that's way too much for a coffee.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, it's $2.10.
Yeah,
calm down.
Yeah,
it's not going to ruin your day if you have to pay an extra 10 cents. Or it's always too. I've definitely been places where they're like, I remember when this place was this, and it was always like this, and it was so great. And like, but then you and everyone you knew stopped coming.
Exactly.
For 30 years. And now you're going to come back and complain that it's different.
Yeah. I remember when I worked at a record store, somebody came in once, and they're like, they hold up a vinyl of Metallica, and he goes, it's $20 for this. When it came out, I bought it for 99 cents.
Okay.
And I'm like, yep.
$20 is pretty cheap for vinyl, actually.
Yeah. I was like, well, that's a pretty good price. And it's called inflation.
Yeah. Things go up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Things change. That's how it works.
Yeah.
And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. So quit bitching about it and move on.
Yeah, exactly. So then,
as we're bitching about people not changing, ironically enough.
So he's saying, let's just like figure out. Let's just take a break and figure out. He just proposed it. They didn't even like implement it.
Like, guys, maybe we should just take a step back and figure it.
And
fuck you.
Yeah, the Catholics are taking Bibles out of school, and then it became the Pope was ordering that.
Oh, it's always about that hyperbole of just like going to the nth degree to make people look like assholes.
Yeah, and so in May of 1844, May 3rd of 1844. Hey, that's my brother's birthday. Not 1844, but May 3rd is my brother's birthday.
Wow, you got an old brother.
Yeah. It was the American Republican Party, also the Know Nothing Party. They held a rally.
I know nothing.
They held this rally, anti-Catholic rally, and basically saying that they're taking Bibles out of school, and that was like the main point of their rally. They held it in a Catholic neighborhood, and a fight broke out.
Why would they hold it in a Catholic neighborhood?
Exactly.
Were they doing it to incense them? Is that why?
Yeah, I imagine it was just...
That's a real dick move.
Yeah. So in that, that started a big riot. People started fighting, and Catholics came in, but the nativists were like, oh, we didn't start it. They threw the first punch. It's like, yeah, but I mean...
I don't know.
Yeah. But at the time, police weren't there. It wasn't like a police state like it is now. They're only like a constable for a small area.
Were there militias at that point? Probably
there were. Yeah, I think. But this was in. It was in Philadelphia, and like this whole thing was in Philadelphia and the surrounding areas, and they would only have like small
in West Philadelphia.
Yeah, in West Philadelphia. Yeah, but they did bring in like I don't know if it's the army or like a militia to try to help
calm things down.
But in the end,
they got involved too because they were both probably Protestants.
Probably,
yeah. It just made it worse. Now they're armed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they two nativists were killed and a number of people were injured in the riots, and people. So this lasted a couple days. This really violent thing that, of course, just furthered the kind of
the animosity
and anger, and everybody's pointing fingers. The nativists were telling people to arm themselves and get ready to defend themselves against the bloody Pope, and it just became this like huge standoff almost between Catholics and Protestants in this area. Yeah,
now.
Yeah, exactly. We're just afraid of
it's switched from religion now, I think, more to Republican and Democrat.
Yeah,
which is not. I don't like. It's become such an us versus them, but with political affiliations, so that there's no real way of having a proper discourse.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, look at the Senate right now. How I think it was on John Oliver. He was saying they haven't passed a law in 10 years now.
Well, I know a big thing that I've been hearing is that. I know the Republicans were pretty bad for. I think when Obama was in office, they were saying that they would do everything they can to prevent him from putting anything forward.
Yeah,
regardless of what it was.
Yeah,
and that's no way to run your country.
No,
that's no way
at all. Yeah, Mitch McConnell.
That things are good for everybody. That's just a way to say fuck you to the other guy because you lost.
Yeah, exactly. But
I mean, the Democrats are just as bad as far as a lot of those things too. Is both sides.
Yeah,
both sides are fucked.
It's awful right now, and it's they're still using immigrants as a pawn, and they're still just it's all about us versus them, and it's arm yourselves, be afraid. They're coming for you. They're gonna take this from you, or whatever.
They're not. Yeah, they don't.
Yeah,
most of them are working jobs that you weren't gonna do.
Yeah,
and that you didn't want.
Yeah, exactly. And then July comes around. And there's a Independence Day parade on the 4th, And so the nativists are planning on marching in the parade, goes through a Catholic neighborhood. So a Catholic priest or one of the bishops or whatever said, basically, we need to arm ourselves just in case. So they rented a bunch of muskets from some armory.
Muskets
or whatever.
Are Us.
Yeah, from Muskets Are Us. They rented a bunch of these muskets for the church, and then the parade went off without a hitch. No problems there. But then a couple of the muskets they found out weren't working, and they were disputing that. And as a result, people found out that they were armed. Like something leaked through because some of the muskets weren't working. And then they ended up kind of getting angry that this
Because
Catholic church was armed during this parade, and they spun it as the Catholics are arming themselves, readying for battle kind of thing. And then on July 5th, another riot started. Very violent riot. They brought in a cannon, like the army brought in a cannon, which ended up they ended up firing into the crowd at one point. Yeah, and just this bloody battle. And because the police they don't have a strong presence.
No, that's not.
Yeah, the police, it was more like you're arresting somebody for
being drunk or something. Not equipped to deal with a full-scale riot with cannons.
Exactly. So, so it just became this bloody mess of a thing that eventually, of course it did die down, but none of the... it was still a battle for years. I think, when did they finally take Bibles out of school? Like in the 1860s? The 1960s, sorry? Like it was...
I don't know, actually.
I think it was the 1960s they took Bible reading out of schools in the United States. So, yeah. The July riots, how many people died? I want to say 30 people died in the July riot. And it lasted till after midnight on July 6th. So it was just like a giant, like it was just like a big one-day riot, but it also caused a lot of changes after that to city police. It was a big instigator in almost like the amount of police that cities have now. They passed a lot of laws saying that you had to have a certain amount of police for however many citizens you have, or how many people live there. You have to have a certain amount of police per capita now, instead of just like a police in each, a constable in each area. So it changed that. It also changed a lot of reactions to how riots are done, and did nothing about Bible readings in school. Yeah,
it probably made it worse.
Yeah, it definitely made it worse. So that's I guess my brief history of the Bible Nativist Riots of 1844. Any thoughts or questions?
Oh man, my thing about church and schools is I don't get why people are so against just keeping that in church.
Exactly.
Or teaching your kids themselves, because you have to know that there are other things that other people believe.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to know that.
Yeah. Oh, another thing that did actually come out of this was a lot of people did push for church-state separation.
Yes.
And some of it was still from an anti-Catholic perspective, where they thought that the Catholics were going to take over the schools.
The best way to keep them out of is make sure it's all out.
Yeah, so it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, though, right? So.
Yeah. But again, it's like, as much as you may have very strong convictions about something, I mean, there's so many other places where you can infuse that into someone's lives.
Yeah.
Why does it have to also be in the school system?
Exactly.
Like, let them teach the other subjects.
Yeah,
like,
and Sunday school programs are huge at this time, I think.
Like, there's church, there's Sunday school, there's community things that you guys do. The family, I'm sure, instills a lot of this stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like, why does the school have to have this religious teachings in it? I don't.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I don't understand why it needs to be there.
Yeah, teach the 3 R's.
Yeah.
And music and stuff. Music is important. Not to everybody. I didn't take music, but have that program. Have an arts program. Arts program were helpful to me. But that's besides the point. But Bible, get that out of there. I guess what I'm saying is Doug Ford should stop cutting funding to the arts.
Yeah, there's a few things Doug Ford should do.
Yeah.
We might not get into that.
Yeah. It's also funny, not funny in any way, but after school shootings and stuff, you always see those memes posted about like, well, how come, dear God, how come you didn't help or didn't step in or whatever? And it's like, you kicked me out of schools or whatever. Like, people are still angry that you can't have Bible readings in schools or prayer in schools.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
no, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
That's such a horrible way to look at something.
Well, it's like principle
a prayer
yeah,
in a
exactly.
Catholic school.
Oh, no. What was it?
God has no place in these walls, just as facts have no place in organized religion.
Exactly what I was going for. Yep.
I think that's the line.
Yeah, that's the line. Yeah. Oh, perfect.
It's just such a awful political scapegoat tool to use that kind of logic about why there was a school shooting. As horrible as it was, the first thing I thought when you said after school shootings was like after school shooting.
Oh yeah.
Like, come on by at 3:00 for the after school shooting.
Like an after school special.
Yeah. And I was like, oh boy.
Did you ever watch after school specials? Were they around in your era?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I remember a
know of
couple.
them, but
like
I don't think
eating
I ever-
disorder. I remember an eating disorder one, and I remember I think it was a prescription drug overuse one or something like that.
I grew up in the extreme era, so.
Oh right, yeah. So. No, we weren't extreme.
Where everything was extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, with an X.
Speaking of the Bible, let's do a Bible quiz.
Oh, okay.
Where's our Bible?
Where's our Bible?
Where's our goddamn Bible? We don't have a Bible in here. Why don't we have a Bible? We never have.
It's a bar.
I'm ready to fail.
All right. So I have 4 questions here for you.
You know, I kind of take it as almost a note of pride that I know nothing about the Bible.
It's true. When I entered Bible college, we had a quiz that the basic idea was it was this giant Bible test you had to take about your knowledge of the Bible that you would do when you entered school and then you do when you left the same test. And it was just a way to see how much you learned about the Bible while you were there.
Okay. I can understand that.
Yeah. When I took the test, they ended up getting rid of this program by the time I left, so I didn't actually take it when I exited. But when I took it, I got 95%.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I guess I knew the Bible before Bible college, but...
Wow.
Yeah.
I probably know maybe the 5%.
Yeah. That was like my buddy.
Less.
He's like, I didn't know
Probably
any of
less.
this stuff. But here we go. So these are all multiple choice.
Who begat who?
Who begat? In Numbers 31, verse 32, they had just finished a battle, right? And they expressed the spoils of war, what they got what the Israelites got in this battle from this other team. So they got.
Is this multiple choice?
This is going to be multiple choice,
Okay.
but they got 675,000 sheep.
Yeah.
72,000 cattle, 61,000 donkeys, and 32,000 blank. Is it A, horses, B, bushels of wheat, or C, young women who had had no intercourse with a man?
I'm guessing it's C.
It's C.
That was kind of what my inclination was.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
Yeah. In 2 Kings 2, when the prophet Elisha was made fun of by children for having a bald head, he A, was an adult about it and brushed it off, B, called them dumb kids and told them to be nice to their elders, or C, he called a curse upon them that made bears come out of the woods and eat 42 of them.
Yeah, C.
Yeah. I was just listening to, they were talking about this one on the Mark Forward podcast, which you can't even get that episode anymore.
I think I heard that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but...
I do remember that.
Because Eric Andrews, who's hilarious, thought that when he said youths, it meant young women.
Yes, yeah.
Or no, beautiful women. Anyways, it was really funny.
I wish I could summon bears to eat children.
Yeah, me too. That'd be a good
party trick.
Good party trick, yeah. Question 3. In 1 Samuel 18, when Saul's daughter wanted to marry David, what did Saul demand as payment from David? Like a dowry.
Yeah.
Was it A, 600 gold coins, B, 300 heads of cattle, or 30,000 heads of cattle, or C, 100 Philistine foreskins?
The foreskins.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd want that.
I don't know.
Ever. Why would you want that?
Just for your collection, I guess.
I mean, I guess it's like they want like scalps or something to prove that you killed them.
Yeah.
Which is also messed up. And a thing that happened.
Yeah.
I think for a while the U.S. government had a bounty on scalps, and you could get paid for bringing in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you read the book Blood Meridian?
No.
It's a Cormac McCarthy book, and it's basically about them going across the Mexican border and scalping people for money.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty crazy. I don't know how much I think it is based in historical fact, but it's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine ever wanting the foreskin when you could have, I don't know.
Well, they were kind of obsessed with foreskins in the Bible.
They love foreskin.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't get the appeal, but in Proverbs 21, verse 19, it is better to live in the desert than A, not having a relationship with God, B, living in sin, or C, living with a quarrelsome and nagging wife.
Is it C?
It's C.
I feel like if this was a real test, I'd be very worried that all the answers are C.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm noticing your pattern.
If I couldn't be a school teacher because of that, because I would just
make it all C.
For punchlines, it just makes more sense to have it C.
Yeah.
So
that's funny.
Yeah. So that's it from us about the Bible Riots and about the Bible.
I guess it would be better to live in the desert than with a nagging quarrelsome wife. I guess. I don't know.
I think that whole chapter is about things that are better than living with a nagging wife. So.
Is it all in one chapter?
Yeah, Proverbs is all like little quips and stuff.
Oh, you know what's better than this? This.
Yeah. It was. It's a weird. It's supposed to be written by Solomon, but it's really just a collection of old biblical wisdoms and
wisdoms.
Yeah.
Use that term loosely.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So everybody subscribe. Call your parents.
Or don't. Do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of our world we live in today, is that you have the freedom to choose.
Exactly.
Yeah, whether you want to be a Protestant or a Catholic.
Yeah, that's true.
And whether you think there really is a war on Christmas. We're going to do a poll, I think, for Christmas.
Yeah.
About whether you think there should be a war.
Should we,
Should we go to war with Christmas?
Go to war with Christmas, or hashtag don't go to war with Christmas.
Oh, man, I think it'd be great if we went to war on Christmas.
Yeah.
You and I.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, if we get enough responses from this, Christmas is a month away, so we will make sure that we prepare for war.
Yep.
And we will... Last year we talked about the war on Christmas. This year we will create our own war on Christmas.
We'll go to Starbucks. We will war it up.
Mm-hmm. We will take down Rudolph.
I want the white cups. I don't want the red cups. Mm-hmm. That's what I'll say.
Go to the back. Get us a white cup.
Yeah. Open them up.
Open up the white cups.
I know you have them. They do. They're just not allowed to open.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Work, Sky Moon.